Okay. Well, hi, Mike.
Hey,
Thanks for helping my project.
for sure.
Leslie, can you say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Mike, software engineer, and happy to just kind of talk about this. Really excited.
What got you into software engineering?
I think just the engineering aspect of being able to make visual progress against something, against a goal. I think really that's true of all of engineering, but especially in software engineering, you're able to have a quick feedback cycle where something compared to hardware engineering might take months or even years. So with software, even like in a week or a couple weeks, you're able to get literally go from 0 to 1. So I just think the speed of iterating through everything is just super appealing to me within engineering itself.
Oh, what kind of programs do you write?
I'm a full stack developer, so I work on the front end, so that mainly involve like React, and then on the back end also with like Python, and then at my job I use a lot of PHP.
Oh, awesome. Well, oh wow, got a little bit more. Well, did you know that NASA is planning to send astronauts back to the moon?
I did hear about this, yes.
When did you hear about it?
I think I saw a headline maybe a couple months ago or something of the sort. So yeah,
Well, would it surprise you that most of the people I talk to randomly have no clue?
yeah, I think so. I think I feel like in the news you hear more about Mars and especially a lot about how we're kind of pushing the frontier. But I mean, it's been decades since we've been to the moon, so I think you had a whole generation in the '60s, '70s where they saw people land on the moon. And I really think there's a lot of potential to have that same inspiration and do more. I mean, now we advanced ages in terms of technology, so I'd love to see kind of the experiments and the work that's being done on the moon today and in today's technology.
So I've talked to a lot of people and they've had a range of opinions from, oh, that's great, I don't know why we didn't stop, that we need to go and explore space to, we have problems here on the Earth. I don't, we've messed with the Earth, why should we mess with the moon too? So it's kind of like this whole spectrum of opinions. Where do you find yourself in terms of that?
Yeah, no, I think we should be going more. I really do think there's obviously a lot of scientific benefit and, thinking whatever, hundreds of thousands of years, we will eventually need to move. But I think in the short term, just the cultural impacts, inspiring a generation, and really just pushing people to think bolder and more ambitious. I think it's just great for civilization and the world altogether to see that moment. I mean, in the '60s, we had the TV of the astronauts walking on the moon. I don't know if it's going to be a live stream or whatever this time around, but that's just going to be one for the history books and one that really gets people rethinking about what they can do and their country can do.
So about 120 years ago, we didn't have people flying. About 100 and I don't know what 30 years ago, we didn't have like electric lights, and then like 150 years ago, like there was no sound recording. So we've like changed a lot in just such a short span. So it's really difficult to project what might happen like the next 200 years. But whenever you kind of like play the tape forward, as it were, where do you see humanity in like 200 years?
With respect to space, or
Respect to space, or anything else that you have thoughts on?
yeah, no, I definitely think hopefully we get to Mars, and not only we get to Mars, but we have a self-sustaining colony. Even can be on the moon, just to show that we're able to, as a species, adapt and really make ourselves resilient in going forward. And I think, in the same time, inspiring a generation. I think there's just so much happening to predict 200 years from now, but hopefully we have new energy sources, nuclear fusion, and that'll be just new ways to get, hopefully just advance our civilization here on Earth, get into space. So I really think a lot of the bottlenecks that we face today will hopefully be resolved, and we can even travel faster and accomplish more in outer space. And also, I think recently I know that we've upgraded from the Hubble Space Telescope. So I'd love to see new technologies to peer into the depths of the universe and see really the origin and solve a lot of the outstanding questions around where we came from and how everything works.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I went to a conference a couple of years back where one of the astronomers was proposing using the sun as a gravitational lens, and the focal point would be like somewhere out there around Pluto. So you would like actually have satellite out there using the sun to like essentially look at where the light was being focused from gravity, and you could actually be able to see like other like image exoplanets around other stars. Doing that kind of amazing.
Yeah, great. And I think just a random plug, if you're able to put that on a live stream or something of the sort, that'd be super amazing too.
So you think in 200 years we'll have people living other places in addition to Earth?
Yeah, I think so, and it would be. I think, well, if it's not my prediction, I think that's something that we should aim toward to doing for just society, and just really, it would be a great launch pad for just so many more things that we could do if we have a central base there or any other planets.
If you could today take a trip to space, would you?
I wouldn't be the first one to go, but maybe a couple rounds into it, if it's a little more established, that'd be something that'd be amazing.
So, how many people would have to go before you felt comfortable? I mean, kind of like order of magnitude. Are we talking about dozens,
Maybe,
hundreds,
it's
thousands?
more the infrastructure that exists on another planet. Maybe not myself. Maybe not the 10th person. But if they have everything there, food, water, a system for breathing, all the bare essentials. I think those would be need to be in place. As a software engineer, not too much I can probably offer in terms of setting all that up, but it'd be great to just to be there and see all that infrastructure. And really, I mean, how many people could say they looked back and saw Earth, and just like I think that'd be just a breathtaking experience.
But what if it was just a couple of days trip around the Earth?
Oh,
Is
right.
that something you'd consider doing?
Of course, and I think people are starting to do that now with space tourism and the sorts. I mean, just to see the Earth altogether. I mean, we live here every single day, but to get that bird's eye view, I know a lot of people talk about who've been up there, astronauts, that you really don't see borders. It's just one big globe, and there's no artificial lines or anything of the sort. So it's just so poetic what people talk about having been up there. So I think having that experience and seeing what they see would have been would be super amazing.
What do you think the likelihood of you having such an opportunity in your lifetime is?
I think it gets better every decade. I mean, a decade ago, even sending some tourists up is probably a crazy idea, and I guess now relatively wealthy people can do it. So you give it a couple decades, and I think hopefully it's as easy as buying a plane ticket or something like that.
Well, I see this as kind of like a record for future generations to look back. I like to say my target audience hasn't even been born yet.
Great.
So, is there anything that you think would be worth sharing with people 50, 100, 200 years from now that we haven't talked about?
I don't think so. I just think it'll be amazing to see how they look back. I mean, really, they'll know everything about us, but we know nothing about them. So I think it's just don't take for granted all the technology that they have in the future. I think if we went back 50 years and kind of showed everything that we have today, they'd all be in awe, and I think the same is true. So just technology will have come a long way, and it's just impressive how we just advanced as a civilization.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Great talking to you.
Thank you.